The World Economic Forum in Davos was dominated by discussions about the lack of economic growth. However, India was considered as one of the few bright spots in the world economy by various experts. Let's take a closer look at the sixth largest economy of the world. Hello and welcome to Geopolitics and Money, your go-to source for the latest in the world of finance, investing, commodities, and geopolitics. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on precious metals markets, geopolitical events, and investment strategies. Join us as we navigate the intersection of economics and politics to keep you informed and ahead of the game. First, here are 5 facts about India's economy that you probably didn't know. Number 1. India is the world's 6th largest economy in terms of nominal GDP, with a total nominal GDP of $2.9 trillion in 2022. Number 2. It's the fastest growing major economy in the world, with a growth rate of 7% in 2022. Number 3. The service sector is the largest contributor to the Indian economy, accounting for over 55% of the country's GDP. Number 4. India is the world's 2nd largest market for consumer goods and is expected to become the 5th largest consumer market in the world by 2025. Number 5. India has a large agricultural sector which employs about 50% of the country's workforce and accounts for approximately 18% of its GDP. India stands out among the largest economies in the world as Europe is on the brink of a potential recession and growth in the United States is slowing down. The International Monetary Fund predicts that India's gross domestic product will increase by 6.1% in 2023, whereas China is expected to show a growth of 4.4% after full reopening. The Center for Economics and Business Research believes that India could surpass Germany and Japan in the next 10 years and reach a GDP of $10 billion, becoming the 3rd largest economy in the world. According to Borje Ekholm, head of Ericsson, the rollout of 5G infrastructure is rapidly developing in India. Soon, the country will have the best digital infrastructure after China, powered by telecom giants such as Bharti Airtel and Jio. India also has the ambition to become a global chip factory as concern about dependence on Taiwan in the West increases. According to the Indian Minister of Trade, Apple plans to move 25% of its iPhone production to India, although this has not been confirmed by the company. Rajesh Gopinathan, CEO of Tata Consultancy Services, is also highly optimistic about India. He sees the combination of a stable political climate and significant government investments in infrastructure as a positive environment for growth. Additionally, the country is well positioned for the planned energy transition. The inflation in India was also less severe than in many other countries, with a CPI of 5.7% in December. Not all is rosy for India, but before we take a look at challenges India's economy faces, here are 5 facts about India's demographic that you probably didn't know. Number 1. India is the 2nd most populous country in the world, with a population of approximately 1.4 billion people as of 2022. Number 2. The population of India is projected to reach 1.7 billion by 2050. Number 3. India has a young population, with a median age of 27 years. Number 4. The country has a large and growing middle class, which is estimated to reach 583 million people by 2025. Number 5. India has a diverse and pluralistic society, with multiple religions, languages, and cultural traditions coexisting. Despite the positive outlook in India, not everything in the country is sunshine and rainbows. According to a 2021 Deloitte report, India still needs to do much more to build infrastructure and reform systems to make doing business easier and attract more foreign investment. Meanwhile, the country still has one of the highest levels of income inequality in the world, and the gap only became wider during the pandemic. Suyash Rai, Deputy Director of Carnegie India Research Center, was skeptical about many of the positive reports from Davos. He points out that the recent GDP growth rates of 6.3% in the 3rd quarter of 2022 and 13.5% in the 2nd quarter were not much higher than the same periods 3 years ago. These figures are even less impressive when considering the sectors controlled by the government. He also notes comparisons between developed and developing countries can be misleading, with the former naturally seeing more moderate growth. If you found value in this video, please like and consider subscribing to our channel for more informative and thought-provoking content. Your support helps us continue to bring you the latest insights and updates on geopolitics, precious metals, and the energy markets. Thank you for being part of our community. In December 2022, the World Bank issued a report about India titled, "India Better Positioned to Navigate Global Headwinds Than Other Major Emerging Economies." It states that the Indian economy is showing resilience despite the challenges posed by a tightening global monetary policy cycle, slowing global growth, and rising commodity prices. Despite these challenges, the World Bank expects India to remain one of the fastest-growing major economies in the world due to robust domestic demand. The World Bank has revised its 2022-23 GDP forecast to 6.9% from 6.5% and forecasts a growth rate of 6.6% in 2023-24. India's economy is relatively insulated from global spillovers due to its large domestic market and relatively low exposure to international trade flows. The report highlights the role of policy reforms and regulatory measures in strengthening the economy's resilience. However, the IMF said in January that it is expecting some slowdown in the Indian economy next fiscal year and projected the growth to 6.1% from 6.8% during the current fiscal ending March 31st. The IMF said the Indian economy is expected to slow down in the next fiscal year, projecting the growth to be 6.1% compared to 6.8% this fiscal year, due to external factors. The IMF's World Economic Outlook shows that global growth is expected to fall from 3.4% in 2022 to 2.9% in 2023, before rising to 3.1% in 2024. The IMF also said growth in India is set to decline to 6.1% in 2023, before picking up to 6.8% in 2024, with resilient domestic demand despite external headwinds. Along with China, India is expected to account for half of the global growth this year, versus just a tenth for the US and the Euro area combined. The inflation in India is expected to come down to 5% in 2023 and 4% in 2024. In a blog post, Pierre-Olivier Gourinchas, Chief Economist and Director, Research Department of the IMF, wrote that global inflation is expected to decline this year, but even by 2024, projected average annual headline and core inflation will still be above pre-pandemic levels in more than 80% of countries. He says, "The inflation news is encouraging, but the battle is far from won. Monetary policy has started to bite, with a slowdown in new home construction in many countries. Yet, inflation-adjusted interest rates remain low or even negative in the Euro area and other economies. And there is significant uncertainty about both the speed and effectiveness of monetary tightening in many countries." In conclusion, India is considered as a bright spot in the world economy with a positive outlook for the future. However, it still faces challenges such as income inequality and the need for further infrastructure development to attract foreign investment. Subscribe to our channel now to unlock the secrets to a better understanding of the world and how money shapes it. Our expert insights and analysis will give you a fresh perspective and keep you informed on the latest developments. Don't miss out on an opportunity to enhance your knowledge and stay ahead of the curve. Click the subscribe button now. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.